What if I told you that her silence doesn't mean the end, but your ultimate chance to rise above every other man she's ever known? Most give up too soon, but you're not most men. Stick around, and I'll show you why. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and join us here at Stoic and Stone, where we turn emotional chaos into clarity and weakness into inner power. Before you give up on her, just hold on. Give me a few minutes to change your mind, because most men quit too soon. They think they've lost before the game even started. She's pulling away, acting distant, not responding like she used to, and suddenly, it feels like it's over. But what if I told you this moment, the one you're dreading, might actually be your biggest opportunity? Most men react emotionally. They chase, they beg, they lose their frame. And in doing so, they destroy the very thing they're trying to protect. But if you can resist that urge, if you can stay grounded in your self-respect, you'll step into a rare position, one most men never reach. So before you walk away or send that last text, watch this, because what you're about to learn could change everything. Why she's really pulling away. Let's start with the truth. Women don't just stop feeling overnight. It's a process. When you met, there was mystery, excitement, the thrill of the unknown. Now, it's all predictable. She knows you'll text first. She knows how you'll react. There's no tension, no chase. The attraction she once felt begins to fade. Not because you did something wrong, but because the dynamic has changed. Predictability kills excitement. And when she feels there's nothing left to discover, her instincts shift. She starts pulling away, often without fully understanding why herself. So she tests, not intentionally, but instinctively. Her behavior becomes inconsistent. One day she's warm, the next she's cold. She's not looking for answers. She's watching your response. If you panic, if you beg, if you start questioning her every move, you confirm her worst fear, that the mystery is gone, and so is your strength. But if you remain composed, if you stay centered, you reignite the tension that first drew her to you. The silent test. When she pulls away, it often comes with silence. And while that silence might feel like rejection, it's often something much more significant. It's a subconscious test. She's wondering, is he the type to chase when he's uncertain? Or is he grounded enough to wait and see? Every ignored message, every delayed response, every canceled plan. It's a series of silent questions. How you respond defines everything. Most men panic. They double text, send long messages explaining themselves, or act out of fear. These actions scream insecurity. But the man who holds his ground, the one who recognizes the test and answers with calm confidence, he's rare. He doesn't text out of desperation. He waits. And that wait sends a powerful message. I don't need your validation to feel secure in myself. And in that silence, something begins to shift in her mind. She starts to question her assumptions about you. Absence creates value. When something is always available, it becomes invisible. Think about it. How often do you appreciate air until you can't breathe? It's the same with attention and presence. If you're always there, always texting, always available, you stop being valuable. But when you step back, when your presence becomes a choice, not a given, it creates tension, curiosity, desire. Absence makes her reevaluate your worth. Suddenly, your attention means something again. She begins to wonder what you're doing, who you're with, why you stopped reaching out. And in that wonder, attraction reignites. But remember, this only works if your absence is authentic. If you're truly investing in yourself, pursuing your goals, living your life. That's when your silence becomes a statement, not a tactic. The power of matching energy. Matching energy is a mindset shift. It means stepping into emotional balance. If she pulls back, you don't chase, you pull back too. Not to punish her, but to preserve your peace. This approach isn't about manipulation. It's about emotional maturity. You're saying, I'm not here to convince you of my worth. I know my value and I protect my energy. This can feel counterintuitive at first. Everything in you may scream to reach out, to fix things. But attraction isn't about fixing. It's about feeling. And she needs to feel your strength through your restraint. By mirroring her energy, you reintroduce mystery. You give her space to reflect. And often, that's all it takes for her to realize what she's losing. If she reaches out, eventually, if you hold your ground, she may reach out. It might be subtle, a like, a random text, a comment on your story. Don't mistake this for a full return. It's a test. She's asking, are you still the same guy who chased me? Or have you changed? Most men blow it here. They overreact, respond too quickly, act like they've won. And just like that, the dynamic resets and she pulls away again. But if you stay grounded, if you respond calmly, if you let her work to rebuild the connection, now you're in control. And control, not in a manipulative way, but in a centered, masculine way, is incredibly attractive. If she never comes back, let's be honest, not every woman is meant to stay. And if she doesn't return, that's not your failure. It's your freedom. Her leaving clears space for something greater, for someone who sees your value without needing you to chase. The truth is, the right person won't need convincing. She'll recognize your worth because you recognize it first. Sometimes, silence reveals the truth. And if she doesn't come back, you've just avoided months or years of chasing someone who was never fully invested. That's not a loss. That's a win. Why silence is everything. Silence isn't weakness, it's power. In a world where everyone's screaming for attention, silence stands out. It says, I don't need to explain myself. I let my actions speak. At first, she won't notice. She'll assume you're playing a game, waiting to come back. But when that message doesn't arrive, when you don't check in, something shifts. She starts to wonder, did I push him away? Did I misjudge him? That's when the real magic happens. Your silence begins to echo in her mind, and those echoes are often louder than anything you could have said. She starts watching again. Once she starts missing your presence, she becomes curious. She starts watching. She checks your stories. She revisits old photos. She reads old messages. And in that space, she's no longer in control of the dynamic. You are. Because now, her curiosity is driving her emotions. And curiosity is the seed of attraction. Let her watch. Let her wonder. Because the more she sees that you've moved on, or that you're at peace, the more she questions if she made a mistake. Handling her return. If and when she comes back, this is your defining moment. Most men fumble here. They get excited, drop everything, and rush to reply. But you're not most men. You stay composed. You don't ignore her, but you don't overinvest either. You let her do the work. She left, after all. If she wants back in, she needs to show it, not just with words, but with consistent effort. And if she does, great. If not, you're still whole. The ultimate mindset shift. This entire journey leads to one thing: your mindset. Because attraction isn't about tactics, it's about transformation. You win not by chasing her, but by becoming someone who doesn't need to. You shift from needing validation to owning your value. And in doing so, you become the kind of man who attracts not just women, but respect, opportunities, and peace. Focus on your mission. Build your discipline. Cultivate your strength. And the right people will naturally gravitate toward your energy. How to become the man she regrets losing. Now, if you want more than just to move on, this is for the men who want to rise. Here's the truth. Women don't regret losing a man who begs, chases, and sacrifices his dignity. They regret losing the man who evolves, The man who turns heartbreak into growth, silence into wisdom, and distance into momentum. You become that man by choosing to invest your pain into your purpose. You don't wait for closure. You create progress. You don't seek validation. You embody self-respect. And day by day, as you train your body, sharpen your mind, and deepen your spirit, something amazing happens. She begins to feel the shift. Maybe she hears about you through mutual friends. Maybe she sees a post. Or maybe she simply feels the emotional void you've left. Either way, the realization hits. She didn't just lose a man. She lost a version of you she'll never meet again. And you're not looking back. Because you've discovered that the power isn't in changing her mind. It's in becoming the man you were always meant to be. That's the man she'll regret losing. That's the man the world can't ignore. Your silence isn't just an absence. It's a message. It says, I'm not afraid to walk away. I'm not waiting around. I know my worth. And that's what makes you unforgettable. If this resonated with you, show your support by liking this video, subscribing to Stoic and Stone, and checking out the next video on your screen. It's exactly what you need to hear next. And as always, stay grounded, stay strong, and stay stoic.